This is Four Tribes. Sean said he doesn't know why it's called Four Tribes, even though it's two-player. And then I said, yeah, I don't know why it's called Four Tribes at all. Let's talk about it. What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Hi there, YouTube.
We are back again today for another game review, another special tag team review. Here with my 8-year-old son, Sean.
Hello.
And this is another Game Crafter Spotlight video where I take a look at a different Game Crafter game every month and do a series of videos on it, culminating with a review. And that is this review. We're going to be taking a look at Four Tribes from Grey Gnome Games. It's from Jason Glover. It's for 2 players, taking about 40 minutes to play. It's for ages 10 plus. And in Four Tribes, this is an area control head-to-head style game where you're going to have, I believe it is 6 villages in the middle of you, and then you are going to be playing cards onto these villages that are going to match these little houses right here. Guess what? If there's a blue house, you're going to have to play a blue card there. If there's a red house, you're going to have to play a red card right there. And if you happen to have the most points on that area, you're going to win one of these little pawns right here. And if you happen to get either 3 of the same colored pawn or 4 different colored pawns by winning these area control villages, then you will be the winner of the game. Mixed along in there, there are 3 expansions mixed in the library edition of this, one of which causes fire and flood and what is it? The blizzardy things? Yeah, the winter things.
They're called blizzards.
Also, you're going to have a variety of different weird wonky cards in here. But if you want to see exactly how the game is played, click on that gameplay video that I think it's over here or over there. One of the two. This is the review. So let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. You want me to start it off?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start off on the con side. First and foremost, it's a 2-player game, so it does have a very restricted player count. You need to know that going into it. Also, another con that I have with this game is that I found it. I played it 3 times. Sean played it 2.5. Well, 2 times. It was pretty much. I was going to win that second game, right?
Yeah.
So 2 times. I played it 3 times. One of the big issues that we ran into was that you'll get to the scenario where you'll get villages that nobody cares about. And then it's just like, well, should I just play cards onto that village just because? But then you realize, oh, it just makes more sense to just discard 3 cards and draw back up to 3 cards, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially what'll happen is like, Sean really needs the bottom village, and I really need the top village. And you'll get like this epic gridlock of like, I'm not going to let you have it. I'm not going to let you have it. I'm going to steal that from you by getting the exact perfect cards, right? Mm-hmm. And so you're just left with these villages that nobody cares about. And I think, I wish there was some sort of like little rule in there where you could make those villages count. Especially if you could get 2 for 1. Like if you could, I don't know. Just a little gameplay thing that I noticed that came up at all the games we played, actually. Another comment I have with this one deals specifically with the Blizzard expansion. So I know it's a bit of a nitpick, but I think you are going to want to play with those expansions when you get into the... Well, you and I have different opinions about that. We'll talk about that. There's Blizzard cards, and then there's a Blizzard token, and how it works is when someone plays a card which has like a blue, yeah, Sean got one out.
Yeah, a blue
snowflake. Essentially, it allows you to place a village, or place a Blizzard somewhere on one of the villages, which means that nobody can play it at all. But these cards are kind of completely unnecessary. Like, they don't do anything special. They just look different, which is cool.
Yeah,
but it's like... Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of odd. It's a minor nitpick. Also, onto the fire, onto the flood. There are expansions you can add on. And at first glance, Sean's going to tell you he really likes them all. But this is the con. So I'm going to tell you that, while I do like them, they stretch out the game. Because essentially what the fire does is it destroys a card that otherwise could not have been destroyed. Even if it's protected, you can still burn it down. And then a flood just completely destroys an entire village. And what that means is, you might have 4, 5, 6 turns that people have taken on one specific village. You could have 6 cards on a village and it might not have scored yet, depending on what cards you play down there. And so if the flood comes in, then the flood wipes out all that. That's just like losing 6 turns. And it's just like, I don't know. And then also, you put the flood and the fire cards, at least as far as I know, back into the pile, and then you shuffle them back up and you can get them again. It just feels like it stretches out the game a little bit. I honestly would have liked it if they would have specifically said, hey, this will happen one time, then it's gone. But that's not the case for sure, because I think there's 3 fire cards, so I don't know. It's a nitpick. I personally like the base game a little bit better after playing with the expansions, but I think that's a your mileage may vary kind of thing, as Sean will tell you. Do you have any cons with the game, Sean?
I don't really like how you have to, like, show people how the flood's code. I like it if you're, like, sneaky, like, they don't know if I'm gonna, like, oh my gosh, is this guy gonna take a flood on this village? Oh no.
Yeah, so the fire cards you can hold in your hand and kind of surprise people, but the flood cards, they actually go face up. And I imagine the reason why they do that is because if you had 2 floods in your hand, like that would clog up your hand. But then again, it might be like, well, if you're going to wait to do the flood, you'd have, yeah, I actually kind of like the way you said that as well, now that I really think about it. Again, it could be, yeah, it just, I don't know. I think it's going to be a very divisive amongst people who play the game. But I think that's a rock solid con, what you said right there. Any other cons? Any other cons? I know you don't have many, which is why I was trying to focus more on it.
Not off the top of my head.
I think most games of this are going to be a little bit samey. I don't think you're ever going to be like, oh, remember that one time we played 4 tribes and that amazing thing happened? I'll be like, no. The games play out pretty much the same. Now, that being said, there are cards that I believe are going to come out in the future, at least I hope they do, where you would essentially be able to take out some of your special cards and put in new special cards, which I think would be really cool if you could kind of customize your own village. And I think, honestly, that would be... Like, imagine if at the start of the game you take out all the fancy cards and you put in your own fancy cards. Wouldn't that be cool? You decide?
Yeah.
But... that's on the con side. Moving on to the pro side, I think we both like this game, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you want to start off with what you liked about the game?
Yeah. I liked how there were, like, different attack cards and they each did their own thing. Like, there's this dragon card. You play it on somebody's side and this counts as a 1. Then we just lock them into, like, if you had 3 of these and you could play all 3 of them on somebody, they could just score a 3 on a village.
And that's part of the balancing act of this game, because there's actually quite a few of these dragons. And what I like about it, it's really simple. If it's got a star down on the bottom, that means you can play it on your opponent's side or on your side. And I do. I also really like the special ability cards. There's just enough in the game to make it interesting. There's a plague that kills things off. There's a catapult that you can shoot somebody across. There's like there's these. I like the 2-point wild dragons that like can pop out, and so it might be good for you if you just want to lock down a pawn, or you can put it on somebody else's side because
or hydras.
Yeah, no, the hydras are not that. The hydras are the 2-point. That's something different, buddy. But that's another one of the special cards that's also unique as well. But there is a good deal of special cards in the game. But that being said, once you've gone through the deck once or twice, you'll know pretty much everything that's going on with them, which is a good thing, though. I mean, it makes it... This game feels...
It makes you be able to strategize with each of the ability cards.
Beautifully said. Yes, that is. You're gonna be like, I really need this card. If I'm gonna win this top village, I have to get this specific card, and then I can play my 5 blue. And if I can do that, then I'm gonna be able to do this. And that's part of the fun, is trying to puzzle out how you're gonna do that, while at the same time balancing the other things. Because while I'm completely focused on this village, Sean might be completely focused on this other village down here. And if he's, sending dragons to attack that village, I now have to kind of focus on, okay, well, he's already played 2 cards down there, and there's only going to be 3 grand total. So if he plays another card there, I'm kind of screwed down there, but it's fine. It leads to some really interesting tit for tat. And overall, I really like this game. I think it's a very good 2-player game. So put a number on it. Now, granted, this is only after your first 2 games. Where 7 is normally good, 8 is great, 9 is amazing, 10 is the best game you ever played, 6 is okay, 5 is meh. I don't think I need to go any lower because I know you like the game.
I give it a 7.10.
So that's an 8.
Oh, I mean 7.5.
7.5. So very good. I'm actually in the 7.5 range as well. Now, you like the expansion better, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And what did you like about it? Just the wildness, the attackiness? What did you think? I know you love that fire.
Yeah. I like how it could give turns to the game. I'm about to take this village. Flood.
Yeah, and if you flood an entire village, that's a lot of turns just gone. It's like, I put 2 5s there and now they're gone. I sent 2 dragons over your way and it's like, boom, flood. I like them, but once again, I think it extends the game out a bit longer than I think the game needs to be. Because I think at its current, without the expansions, I think it is just about the perfect length. I don't think it really outstays its welcome, except for when you get into that sort of scenario where, 1 or 2 of the villages you don't even care about.
Yeah.
And then you start just like, oh, discarding 3. And then, yeah, because our first game, we got to the point where I was looking for a specific card and you were looking for a very specific card. And it was just like, discard 3, your turn. Discard 3, your turn. Yeah. Discard 3, your turn. Discard 3. Oh, got it. I win. And so I just think maybe utilizing those extra villages maybe a little bit better would have been good. But overall, I think it's a very good game. I think if you are in the market for a 2-player game, you think you can teach this to kids in your class? You think it's too complex?
I might be able to teach it to a few of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's terribly complex at all. It's pretty simple area control. You don't count over, 17? Pretty low numbers. But that is 4 tribes from the Game Crafter and Game Games. It looks like it might be a cup of tea. Be sure to check this one out. Also, yeah, go check it out if you want to, because that's how we get extra cards. Because I really do think this would. I think it could easily get bumped into the 8 range. It was the kind of thing where on your second game, it's like, all right, now go look through your additional, say 16 or 8 or whatever green, purple or orange cards or purple cards, and then mix them in so you could kind of construct your own deck. That would be super cool.
Yeah, I would get like 8.5 if there was that kind of aspect.
And I think that's actually what they're hoping to go for. They alluded to it a little bit in the rule booklet. So hopefully they end up doing that. But if this looks like it might be a cup of tea, be sure to check out that Game Crafter link down below. Also, if you want to create a game yourself, you better click on that Game Crafter link down below. And no, I'm not just saying that because I sponsored this video. I'm saying it because I used it to create my own game back before you were even born, back before you were even a thought in my head, and they have only improved since then. They do 3D printing, they do cardboard, they do boxes with a whole bunch of different sizes, they print on money, they print on your face. I don't even know. But if you were going to make a game, any game in the whole wide world, what game would you make? This is the question down in the comments down below. What theme do you want? One game. You're going to get it made. You can only choose the theme, though.
Robotic Native Americans.
Robotic Native Americans. All right. Now, I'm going to bite. What are they doing? Are they overthrowing the government? Are they like, we're taking this back?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm down. That sounds cool. Okay. For me, I would really like an in-depth NBA simulator style board game, like NBA General Manager board game. Ignacy and Portal Games did something similar like that for soccer, which I think was just on GameFound loosely, but I'd like to see one for the NBA. But let me know in the comments below what kind of game, if you could make just one theme turn into a game, what's it going to be? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.